Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? Got another Shamrock Studios production for you guys tonight. A little bit of a surprise upload here, but I decided, and if you might notice, it's a little vacant right here where all my King Gizzard albums are. That's because I'll be doing a quick, kind of like impromptu tier list. Nothing official. I'm too lazy to edit, admittedly. Um, but I'm gonna run through the stack that I have because it's their entire discography minus the newest album, which isn't on vinyl. Um, so without further ado, I'm just gonna kind of go through, give my thoughts on each one and like a quick letter grade. Just thought it'd be a fun, quick video to do. First off, we have Willoughby's Beach. This is this is an EP right before their first album. Honestly, this one's starting to grow on me. I recently got it on my phone with the download code that came with this, and I gotta say, you know, usually out of all their vinyls, this is one of the ones, like, with a lot of their earlier stuff I don't really listen to as often on vinyl, but I've been listening to it while I'm working. This one's not bad. I think this is like a solid B minus, maybe C plus, but I think I'm leaning more towards B minus, maybe even a B. Little less production quality compared to their first album, 12 Bar Brews, which is right here. But overall, I think it's pretty solid. Speaking of 12 Bar Brews, I would say this is a little bit higher than Willoughby's Beach. Like if Willoughby's Beach is a C plus or a B minus, I would give this a B or a B plus. I think this one's really cool. This one's growing on me a lot more as well. Not really any specific songs on here. I mean, like Elbow, Muckraker, Oh, I Called Mom, like, I don't know. There's just a lot of fun songs on here. I didn't really say a whole lot about Willoughby's Beach, but that one's got some like fun tracks as well. This is probably like a B for me. Now, probably easily my least played album is Eyes Like the Sky. This is their kind of spaghetti western with narration album. And for me, I mean, I don't really want to rate like their albums too low because I love most of their stuff, but I gotta say this one's kind of like a C, C minus for me. I mean, the concept is really cool. I don't even have this on my phone. Like I appreciate the concept, but as an album, like I don't really find myself itching to listen to this. Is probably the best way for me to describe this. Um, Again, nothing inherently wrong with it. I just kind of like when there's like the fun lyrics and the energy, and when it's, just talking with background instrumentals, it doesn't really do it for me. And as a genre, I like westerns, but like I like fantasy, sci-fi, and like pirate stuff more, so it doesn't really grab my attention as much. Now, first probably A tier album, or honestly, this one might be closer to an S, but I'm gonna give this one for now pretty high A plus A tier. Float Along, Fill Your Lungs. This is out of their older stuff, easily one of my favorites to listen to very often. You got that 15-minute banger, Head on Pill, which is basically like the Giz anthem other than the KGLW outro from the newest album. I'm Not a Man Unless I Have a Woman. Honestly, like every song on here, Mystery Jack, Pop My Step, Float Along, Fill Your Lungs. Honestly, my favorite being the first song and the last song are my favorite from this. Overall, great kind of psychedelic rock album with a classic rock bent. I don't know, I like it. I dig it. Gumboot Soup. Or, wait. Oddments. I said Gumboot Soup because Oddments is much like Gumboot Soup in the sense that it's a variety album. I think Gumboot Soup does variety better, and I'm only saying that because I'm a little biased. It was the first album of theirs that I purchased, but I also tend to like more of the songs from that one, like Beginner's Luck and whatnot. But Oddments is another one that's like older album. Didn't really give it too much of a listen, but it's starting to grow on me. I mean, Vegemite's like a fun meme song. Sleepwalker's a good song. Hot Wax, Crying. Like, all of this is, it's fun. And it's on. And here's the thing. If I was rating this off of album art alone, this would be God tier because this album art is insane. As a standalone album, I think this is a solid B, B minus. I don't think it's as enjoyable as Gumboot Soup. That's just my personal opinion, but I think still an overall excellent album, especially in the art department. First S tier album is I'm in Your Mind Fuzz, seeing as this is the one that most Giz heads recommend anyone listen to. going into the Gizverse, as they would say. This is basically a great intro album for anyone curious about the band, or if you just want to show some friends, because it's got, I mean, I'm just gonna name every song on here, but the 4-track medley of "I'm in Your Mind," "I'm Not in Your Mind," "Cellophane," and "I'm in Your Mind" fuzz is great. Inspiration for Nonagon Infinity with them bleeding into each other, and it's got this driving bass line, and it's full of energy. Honestly, the only part of this album I don't really care for is Empty and Hot Water. Nothing wrong with those songs. I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like the first four songs are really great. And then when you flip the vinyl and you get to Am I in Heaven and then all the slow jams, it's like, I don't know, it's like I feel like those parts of the album are insane, and then Empty and Hot Water are like the definition of filler track. But with that being said, they're not even bad filler tracks. And even if they were bad filler tracks, they wouldn't bring down how insane, like Her and I is probably one of my most played songs off out of their entire discography, and Slow Jam 1 as well. Both those slow jams, like this album is great. S tier, S plus, honestly. Next up, honestly, this is gonna be another high A tier, A plus, I'd say. Quarters, great album all around. The River, easily the best song from this, but Infinite Rise, God is in the Rhythm, and Lonely Steel Sheet Flyer. I think my personal favorites are The River and Lonely Steel Sheet Flyer, although Infinite Rise and God is in the Rhythm are still great. Plus, I love the art on this one as well. This is an easy A plus tier for me. Next up, Paper Mache Dream Balloon, another one that actually kind of started growing on me again because I got it recently on my phone and listening to it with work music. First, I don't know what it was. For some reason, when I first put it on, I didn't like vibe with it initially. I kind of just hate the last song, only like just Paper Mache, just because, not because of the how it's just instrumental, but I hate the outro, how it's just like that really screechy, high pitched, whatever. Like honestly, that alone makes me want to shut the album off early. But that's the thing. With that being said, like Sense is a great song. Honestly, the best song on this album. Trapdoor is great. Paper Mache Dream Balloon, Dirt, Bone, like all these songs are really good. And I'd say originally I would have given this like a B. I think this is more like an A minus B plus now. This is pretty solid acoustic album. And we have S plus and or God tier, Nonagon Infinity, which is right up there next to I'm in Your Mind Fuzz with my favorite album. I mean, I'm just gonna name every song on here. You got Robot Stop, Big Fig Wasp, Gamma Knife, People Vultures, Mr. Beat, Evil Death Roll, Invisible Face, Wawa, and Road Train. Every single goddamn song on here is amazing. And again, whenever I want people to get into Giz, I tell them listen to the freaking infinitely looping album. It's fun. It's nuts. The energy is insane. S plus God tier right here. My personal favorites from this album. I love Mr. Beat, Robot Stop, obviously, People Vultures. Like they're all just great. They're amazing. Flying Microtonal Banana, the first of the 3, including this one, Microtonal albums. This was one where I didn't even think much about it, but I bought it on a whim, saw it at a record store, bought it, and listened to it full blast at my parents' place because I was home working from home for like around the holiday time. Honestly, this album's pretty freaking solid. I think out of all of the Microtonal ones, this is my favorite. This is definitely like an A minus or A tier. With Rattlesnake being a very good song, but I also love Sleep Drifter. What else is on here? Like Doom City, Billabong Valley, Open Water, Melting, like a bunch of just really solid tracks on here. Plus the artwork is stellar. Yeah, out of the 3 Microtonal albums, this is easily the best. This is like a no lower than a B plus, but I'd say this is like an A minus, maybe even A tier. Oh, Murder of the Goddamn Universe. This album is another one where it started to grow on me. I used to not really think about it because, like, the narration, I like to have music on my phone, but I like to shuffle it sometimes. I don't want to have, like, the random, like, narration ones, like, like A New World or whatever, where it's not even, like, singing, it's just, like, that woman talking. Like, it kind of throws off the vibe. But as an album on its own, honestly, it's excellent. This is an A tier album. This is The Tale of the Altered Beast. So, honestly, I was about to try to say which part is my least favorite, but I don't know. Like, A Tale of the Altered Beast, it's got It's got more of the spoken word, but the Altered Beast songs and Altered Me songs are really good. Plus, the Lord of Lightning versus Balrog is excellent. I mean, it's got the random callbacks, like you got the trapdoor instrumental, you got the bass line from I'm in Your Mind, you got the People Vultures guitar, so they got all those fun callbacks. Plus, Lord of Lightning is an excellent song. And then Hantayumi and the Murder of the Universe has Digital Black, which is the best song on this album. Plus, the insanity that is him wanting to puke and destroy the universe. A-tier album. Sketches of Brunswick East. This is one I'm in the process of having it grow on me. I think out of all the 2017 albums, which I'm talking about right now, starting with Flying Microtonal Banana, this is probably the weakest. In my personal opinion, this is the weakest. Nothing wrong with it though. I mean, like Countdown, Tezida, even just like the instrumentals of just that Sketches of Brunswick East 1 and 2, like, it's not like there's anything wrong with these. It's just, I don't know. It didn't really click with me. I give this one like a B minus. I wouldn't give it a C though. I don't know. This is like a B minus for me. Not a whole lot else for me to say. And another S tier, Polygon Wonderland, S plus. This is like a masterpiece right here. I don't know, like whenever I recommend, so far I've recommended a couple albums to friends, and it's always I'm in Your Mind Fuzz, Nonagon, and this one. I mean, Crumbling Castle alone makes this album godly, but like, I don't know, it's like there's just so many good songs. Polygon Wonderland's a great song, like Inner Cell, Loyalty, Horology, like there's so many great songs on this album. It's like the concept is cool, the sound, the heavy synth, everything about this is a goddamn masterpiece. That's why in that flowchart on the King Giz subreddit, this is labeled as like you want to listen to like the perfect Giz sound, listen to this. And a little special place in my heart, Gumboot Soup, the first King Gizzard and the King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard album that I purchased. You know, compared to Oddments, I think this one's like an A minus. Like I'm rating a lot of these high, but this is just my personal preference. Beginner's Luck is a really good song. The Wheel's a great song. The Great Chain of Being is cool. It's kind of your intro to the Infest the Rat's Nest vibe. All Is Known, Down the Sink, Superposition. Like honestly, the only song on here I don't really care for is Barefoot Desert. And there's nothing even wrong with it. Plus the artwork's cool. This is like a pretty solid like variety album overall, and I'd say it's an A minus. Again, giving out a lot of A minuses and B's and S's, but speaking of, honestly, this is either high A, low S for me. Fishing for Fishies, it's excellent. Boogie album, the title track, Fishing for Fishies, Boogeyman Sam, the Bird Song, Plastic Boogie, This Thing, Real Is Not Real, and Psy Boogie are my personal favorites, which are basically almost all the songs, but like all of them are good. The artwork's stellar. Just the entire vibe and the lyricism of this album is excellent. And it's another one that I usually recommend. Oh, and Float Along, Fill Your Lungs is another one that I also recommend whenever people ask me about this band. But this, honestly, pretty solid album. This is, if not S minus, this is like A plus. I wouldn't give this lower than an A. Also, speaking of, Infest the Rat's Nest, I think is another stellar, on the same par as Fishing for Fishies in terms of, because they're basically the same concept of, hey, the world's dying, we got to do something about it. The only difference being that Fishing for Fishies is a lot more chill about it. And this is, that thrash metal, like, hey, we're fucked, and we did this to ourselves. But I think I like heavier stuff more, so I think I might lean more towards liking this album more than Fishing for Fishies. So, like, I'm either giving this an S or an S minus, and then Fishing for Fishies is S minus or A plus. But like Planet B, Mars for the Rich, Oregon Farmer, Superbug, like all these, like literally like Hell's a great song, but the last like minute of Hell is insane. Like the guitar riffs on this, the artwork is intimidating. Just everything about this album is so fucking cool. Chunky Shrapnel. So this was their first foray into making live albums. So my only other comparison, so I know they have a bunch of the bootleg live albums. I didn't order any of those. The only bootleg stuff I did order was Teenage Gizzard because it's an even earlier EP to Willoughby's Beach, which I haven't even listened to, and then I ordered both of the demos. So I don't know how the other live ones sound, so I'm comparing this just to San Francisco. And the San Francisco live album, I think, is way better. I mean, but I'll get into that in a minute. I think it's just because of the track list. So here's the thing. The performances here are great. My only preference is that I like Live in San Francisco better for the set list, but also because I like that it's from one consistent show. This one, like, I don't know, I like the consistency of having it all be, like, recorded from one show, and this one's, like, from different locations. Plus, this one's mostly either, you got, like, a little bit of Polygon Wonderland there, you got some Infest the Rat's Nest, you got some Murder of the Universe, a little bit of Nonagon Infinity and The River. But I don't know. I haven't seen the movie yet either, or like the documentary that they did for this too, the Chunky Shrapnel video. But you know what? This is I want to say I be like no, this is like a B plus. I'd say B plus, somewhere around there. And with that being said, I think A tier goes to Live in San Francisco 2016. So the main reason for me is that the entirety of side one is insane. You got first four songs from Nonagon Infinity with Hot Water, because the flute riff from Hot Water is the same as the guitar riff that you hear during the guitar solo for Robot Stop. So it's just really cool that it's breakneck pace and they rip through those four songs and throw Hot Water in for the fun of it. And then side two, you got Trapdoor, and then the I'm in Your Mind Fuzz medley, which is another one of my favorite goddamn like combination of songs. And then The River, which is like the chillest song that they have. And then back in another Nonagon song. And then side four is like a 20-minute version of Head on Pill. So it's like these are literally all, this is basically all S to A tier songs for me on a live album. And the performances are great. So this is easily an A. Honestly, it's more like an A plus for me. I think this album is really solid. And we finally hit the end of this stack. KG, this is, well, the newest in terms of the vinyls. KG is a pretty solid B tier for me. There's nothing wrong with it. I think LW is honestly better. I think I would give LW an A, and I think this would get more of like a B, B plus. My personal favorite songs on here being Honey and Intrasport. But Automation is also pretty solid. The intro song is great, although the outro version of it from LW is extremely better. Plus, The Hungry Wolf of Fate is really good. But I think out of all the microtonal albums, this is the weakest, but it still sits at a B. So, like, let that, speak words. You got Flying Microtonal Banana is, like, just barely at S tier. You got LW, which is sitting at a chill A minus, and this is like a B, maybe B plus. So yeah, that's my personal preference. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just wanted to do a quick kind of thing here. Let me know in the comments if you want to do that. Let me know if you want me to do any more reviews. I know I got my Rick Springfield ones here, although that won't be his entire discography. I got all the Aerosmith ones up there. I got some of my Elton John ones here, but again, it's not the full discography. So if I was going to do any more review videos, just out of laziness, I'd want to keep it to ones that either have the full discography or almost the full one, like Rick. So I can at the very least like cover them and then just kind of talk about the albums that are missing. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Go ahead, like, subscribe if you want. Share it with anyone. And yeah, peace.